Hey guys, welcome back to the Rebel Chumps channel. During my trip to Singapore at the STGCC, I hope I say that correct, I picked up 3 Clone Wars figures and I showed them off. I got my Obi-Wan Kenobi first day of issue with a jetpack and a clone trooper helmet. And it's really cool. I actually will unpack them or take a closer look on these figures. Well, I take them out. Actually, I was watching the Clone Wars series again, preparing myself for season 7. And once I saw these figures in that shop, I actually immediately got this vibe of why not start to collect all the Clone Wars figures. Because they're so good. They're the best Star Wars figures to date. They have tons of articulation. They're very detailed, a lot of paint details, and they're relatively inexpensive to pick up in general. We got also a Commander Bly, so that's pretty cool too. And then lastly we have Heavy in his training armor. Now Heavy of course died in one of the later episodes, but this is one of the episodes where they did the training, and this is the training gear, and I saw that oh good, it's a good throwback to each episode. And I was looking at the back of these packages and I was like, wow, damn, they've so much cool figures actually. So I think I'm gonna start collecting them. I'm gonna see how much figures I can get. The vehicles, I love them. The figures themselves, I love them. So these will be collected besides my vintage Star Wars collection. From time to time I pick a whole bunch of vintage Star Wars figures up, but I gonna combine that with either also Clone Wars figures, because they look so good and I want to actually put them all on the shelves in all kinds of dioramas where I can pose them. I could do that, for example, with the expensive 6-inch figures, like the Black Series figures, but I don't really like them. Or the better Bandai Figure Arts figures, which are perfectly fine for all kinds of displays. But then again, they're super expensive. They're roughly $60 to $80 per figure. And these ones are not even 1/4 or 1/5 of the price. And I can build whole armies of them, have all the clone troopers in different poses, etc. It's really cool. So let me take out these figures out of the package. I'm not going to collect mint on box because I just don't have the space for it, and I don't really care about it. I love to collect these figures, and I just want to display them. Ooh, the smell of old toys. So here we go. Let's take him out. We start with Heavy. Now Heavy was a really cool character who died, unfortunately. A few years ago I actually had a few figures from the Clone Wars, and unfortunately during one of my many moves I actually got throw them away or something. I forget what happened with it. So we got Heavy here. Let me just take a look at it. So I'm not going to do close-ups and the complete reviews at the moment. Maybe over time I will do that. If I have a whole bunch of these figures, I can do a whole overview of all the figures I collected. But it has this helmet, which is really cool. The Clone Troopers training gear is actually pretty cool. It's pretty worn. Ooh, there's a rubber band on it, completely disintegrated, so it's very sticky. I think that's the downside of these kind of packages. Over time this gets like super sticky. That's why I don't collect mint on box, because it's too expensive anyway. But this is the right size. This is the size I grew up with, 3¼ inch. It comes with these stances. I don't think every figure comes with a stance. Maybe they do. Let me see. But they have their own little display stand, so I can put the figures on the display stand. So that's really awesome. So that's definitely something I'm gonna explore, because I can put 1 feet in the pack hole, and then dispose Heavy, for example, in a running pose with a heavy gun in his hand. So let me just post that off camera. That's maybe I need to take a bit more of time for that. But he has this massive machine gun, so let me try to put it in his hands. Let me see how he's supposed to hold it. I think this is cool. What's really cool about these figures is they're fully articulated. They have articulation at the wrist, at the elbow, at the thigh, at the waist, at the ankles, at the everything. Everything is fully articulated. These are amazing figures. Oh, not the waist, by the not the ankles, by the way. No, these are stiff ankles. But besides that, everything is articulated. They don't make any Star Wars figures like these anymore. Like even the new movie Star Wars figures are just 5 point of articulation again. So that's why a lot of people hate those figures, because they come from this. I come from 4 or 5 point articulation most of my youth, so for me it's perfectly fine. But for a lot of newer collectors, yeah, I can totally understand. You hardly want to go back to something like that if you're used to really cool figures like these. So let me see if I can pinch his hands around this machine gun. It's a bit difficult because a massive sharp light in my eyes. Or is it maybe this hand? Oh, this is the one for the handle. What? I see, this is probably the hand for the handle. Small little figure, so getting him to grip the stuff that I want is a bit tricky. Okay, so we got it. And then oppose his arm like this. Ooh, this is gonna be a bit tough, but I think I can do it. Whew. Okay, here we go. Can we do it? Yes. Oh my god. Okay, is it holding it? It's not really holding on to this weapon. The other hand is fine though. Oh god, it's not easy. It's not easy, these figures. I'm gonna do this later. Whatever. But it's really cool. So it has this big ass machine gun, and then it has a regular infantry blaster as well. And it has a dice which just fell on the ground. I really don't care about those dices. I know it's like a game, you can play with them. Whatever. So I just put the regular infantry rifle in his hand. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Let me just zoom into this guy. See, can we do that? It's gonna be a little bit difficult because I set the focus to manual focus, so I need to do this, and here we go. Here we go. I think this is relatively sharp. Yeah, so anyway, cool figure, really cool. Put him to the side, and there we go, we're back. So let me see, are we still in focus? Yeah. So anyway, really cool figure, heavy. Then we have Commander Bly, different packaging. I think different seasons, different packaging. I think this, I don't know which, I think this is season 2, and this might be season 3 and up. I think so. I don't know, you guys know it probably better than me. So next we have Commander Bly, very cool figure as well. Let me take her out of the box. So if you're a Clone Wars toys collector, let me know in the comments what each of these packaging mean. I mean, I know some of the guys collecting mint in box, they will say, oh my god, why did you open them, blah blah blah. I don't think these will have significant value. Maybe for some collectors over the coming few years, but then again, I'm not a mint in box collector. I just want to have everything out of the box displayed. I just like that more. Commander Bly actually has a whole bunch of weapons. He has 2 blaster pistols. He has a rocket launching thing, and he has a heavy assault rifle. Again, the rubber band that holds the weapon in place is disintegrated, so it's all sticky in his hand. When I was at that store, or that store location at the con, a lot of the figures had yellowed torsos, so they have been on display for a long time. Yeah, so the hand's quite sticky because of that. Gosh, it's really sticky. That's another good reason why I take them out of the box. Sticky, sticky, sticky. But this is a really cool figure, so put this to the side. God, it's really sticky. No, he comes fully equipped with this, with all the articulation that he has. He has a pauldron, which I think can actually be removed from the head if you want. I just leave it on. I love the little holsters on the side, so you actually can put his little pistols in there. So which I'm gonna do, so I don't lose his little pistol blasters. Here we go. 1 and 2. Gosh. Yep, fit in perfectly fine. perfectly molded, which is really good. These figures were just made perfectly. The paint on them is just outstanding. The articulation is fantastic. I mean, these figures are really so good. These actually has ankle swivel as well, this one, Commander Bly. And then he has a clone trooper helmet. This clone trooper helmet has a slightly warped, let me see if I can show that, a slightly warped fin on his helmet, but that can easily be fixed. But what's really cool, the visor on his helm actually can be placed up and down, so that's really cool as well. Very nice. And this helmet actually can be placed on his head, so I can pop it on his head like so. So that's really cool. Very nice figures. You can see it like a piece of rubber band on there. So I had to cut a little bit out of the video because my son just walked in. The sticky thing is super sticky. These rubber bands, they have been soaking on the figure for a while. So there's a whole, it's almost like it's part of the plastic now. I tried to get it off. It's super sticky and it feels really gross in my hands. It's like glue or something. God, that's one thing that you get with these figures. So it also has this assault blaster thingy, so that's cool. Gonna display that really nicely. So this figure actually did not come with a stand, so I don't know why Commander Bly didn't come with a stand. And it has like this rocket launching thing, which is a feature I normally put in a pile of weapons I don't care about. And now lastly we have Obi-Wan Kenobi. And what is really cool about this figure is it actually has the likeness of Obi-Wan Kenobi from the Clone Wars series, which I really like. Nice artwork, and again, another packaging. This has another Clone Wars packaging. I guess this is the original Clone Wars packaging. Yeah, 2008. The other one, the red one, is from 2009, so this is season 2, and this one is season 2 as well, 2010, so season 3, maybe season 2, wave 2, I think so. Again, I'm not a mint in box collector, so I'm gonna display all these figures on my shelves and have fun with them, with posing at them, etc. I'm definitely gonna go into the rabbit hole of collecting all these Clone Wars figures. They just look so badass. They have all these articulation, etc. So I'm taking out Obi-Wan here off screen for a second. Obi-Wan also has a sticky rubber band. Okay, I will show you in a second what I got here in my hands. Need to take it off. Obi-Wan has a lightsaber as well. And oh, these rubber bands are so gross. Actually, it has 4 rubber bands on his legs and arms. So there will be a sticky yucky situation. Yep. So the rubber bands are all over his body. Really cool figure again. His likeness is pretty darn good. So when I was on the con, I actually had sort of a beard, as you could see. And a lot of people asked like, oh, I should do cosplay next year. And a lot of people suggested me to do an Obi-Wan from the Clone Wars. And I thought, shit, with that beard, actually I can see a little bit of a resemblance of the funky hair that I have and the shallow beard. It might be something that I actually want to explore. I originally want to do an Luke Skywalker Return of the Jedi, but something like this, of course, is really awesome. Oh, I just noticed that his his arm is upside down. So. Jeez, these rubber bands are so disgusting. Oh my god, it's all over my hands. Ugh. Really gross. Anyway, Obi-Wan, really cool figure. Now, it seems like, yeah, that's correct. I can pop off his head and put this clone trooper's head on him. I'm not gonna do that because I'm just gonna display it like that. Maybe I put it on the ground like it's a victim by a Sith or something, like Ventress cut off a clone trooper's head. Do something like that. And that's cool, it has a backpack, so I actually can put the backpack on his back. So he can fly. And then there's a rocket here, so I can put the rocket on his head. That is something I might want to do. Display him with a rocket on his back. It's very gimmicky, of course, but it's pretty cool. This Obi-Wan looks really awesome, by the way. Very nice figure. It has, of course, a lightsaber. It's basically a Saberforge Redeemer or a Romance prop interception. Very nice figure. I mean, these figures are so awesome. You can post them in anything you want. It's so cool. He has like this weathered washing over his gear. It does look like he has been in battle. Like he has been wandering in battle, and that's why he's like really gross looking now. So cool. I'm definitely gonna pick up a bunch of more of these ones. I'm gonna start collecting these. These figures definitely have sold me on it. I mean, you can really reproduce a lot of scenes from the Clone Wars with these figures, because you can post them in so many things you want. Oh, actually, Obi-Wan's legs are actually, that's kind of funny. Obi-Wan's legs don't have articulation in the legs, but he doesn't have swivel in his. Okay, his legs are just, that's funny. Obi-Wan's legs are just one piece. There's actually no articulation in his legs, but there's articulation in his hands, wrists, etc., and his torso as well. Sort of a little bit. So maybe there's another Obi-Wan figure as well that's fully articulated in that series. I need to check it out. I need to start delving into it, but I'm definitely gonna collect these. It just looks awesome. I want to have that whole Clone Wars diorama at my home. Really cool. So if you collect Clone Wars as well, let me know which one you collect, and if you have some spare ones you don't need anymore, send them to me and review them for you. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you like this little Clone Wars love. I love the Clone Wars. Take care, guys. Bye bye.